Greetings, Rigil Agateiades here, and today we're revisiting a mobile suit that recently started to play with fire. Today's mobile suit had great grenades, but in the latest 30 mobile suit adjustment patch, it just gained another one, resulting in a game of dodgeball with tons of steel. This is the mobile suit that had turned from the sidestepping machine gun goblin into the ultimate grenade lobber, the 350 cost general type, Act Zaku. While the Act Zaku's win rates aren't that bad considering its age, it's lucky enough to get a buff because of the poor performance of the high level versions. The lower levels don't get any stat buffs, but what they do get is an update to its grenades and an extra spicy set of new ones. The new weapon on the Act Zaku is the Incendiary Grenade, and needless to say, it comes with quite a burn. Doing 150 damage per tick for 10 ticks, land it once and is 1500 damage in the bag unless the target uses an emergency evasion to put it out. That's definitely a good idea if you're hit by one, and exactly why I was evading out of nowhere earlier. The extra damage is good, especially against enemies with high defense, but these grenades only reach their full potential when you combine them with the other set of grenades, now renamed the Act Zaku hand grenades. Not gonna lie, hand grenades Z sounded cooler. Compared to the old hand grenades Z, the Act Zaku hand grenades had quite some significant improvements. First of all, the base damage is increased from 1100 to 1300, matching the punch of the Incendiary Grenades. The reload time is also reduced from 13 seconds to 10 seconds so that the two grenades are always ready at the same time. But most importantly, on the new Act Zaku hand grenades, the stagger accumulation is increased from 30% to 50%. You can't get an accumulated stagger with this alone due to the 3-second cooldown. But don't forget that they're not the only grenades on this Zaku. As the Incendiary Grenades also come with 50% stagger, together with the burn effect, the two grenades are a perfect combo to pull off accumulated staggers. Start with the Incendiary Grenades and you get 50% stagger, but unlike normal weapons, due to the burn effect, this stagger does not expire. This gives you 10 whole seconds to land the second grenade, a lot easier than hitting two grenades in a row. That being said, hitting these grenades aren't exactly easy, especially against quick feet like our own. And holy zock, that machine gun hurts! While we didn't pick it as our main weapon this time, the Act Zaku Bullpup machine gun comes with 1500 damage per second and can get an accumulated stagger in just half a mag. Didn't pick it because it didn't match the grenades that well, but still a very dangerous threat against low defense targets like ourselves. Unlike the Act Zaku on the enemy team, the main weapon I chose this time is the Act Zaku Beam Rifle. This beam rifle indeed comes with lower damage than the bullpup machine gun, but today we're using this beam rifle for its versatility. First thing that this beam rifle has but the machine gun doesn't is range. The damage on the bullpup machine gun is high, but it only has a range of 200 meters. By using this beam rifle, we increase our effective range to 300, and what we lose in sustained damage, we can compensate for with the grenades. Second thing that this beam rifle has but the machine gun doesn't is simply an instant stagger. While the bullpup machine gun can get an accumulated stagger in just 2 seconds, it can't match this beam rifle's instant stagger in a melee fight. Being a normal stagger also means you can chain staggers on a target, a privilege the machine gun gave up in favor of overwhelming damage. So if you want higher stagger accumulation and more damage, choose the bullpup machine gun. But if you're like me and think the grenades are enough, the beam rifle can increase the range of situations that you can fight in, such as stopping an enemy that suddenly popped up for an immediate down attack combo. By bringing out the beam rifle, the Act Zaku is suddenly a lot better at melee fights. Instead of guessing when your enemy would be staggered with the bullpup machine gun, fire the beam rifle and you're ready with the beam saber in hand. This is also one of the ways to compensate for the lower damage, as the melee combo damage on the Act Zaku is not low at all. But when talking about the Act Zaku, we must also talk about its greatest weapon, its speed. What the Act Zaku is most famous for is its lack of a directional movement penalty. When a mobile suit with standard movement penalties move 80% as fast when moving sideways and 70% when backwards, the Act Zaku simply doesn't care and jogs backwards at a full 100%. Having fast feet doesn't just let you avoid shots directly, it lets you choose where and how you fight to your advantage. This is not without a trade-off, as the Act Zaku is quite a fragile mobile suit. With not even 12,000 health, it doesn't take a lot to chip it down. Even the custom part slots don't help that much, so we really have to put that mobility to work. Or you can look at it the other way. Even 3,000 health is plenty for the Act Zaku to fight. Against a normal opponent, outrun them and you can fight them without taking any hits. But when you have to fight someone as fast as you with 3 times your health, we need a bit more than that. The enemy Act Zaku's bullpup machine gun is scary, but what he doesn't have is the resolve. One stagger forces out his evasion, but the fight is already over at this point. Overheat the rifle for a second stagger, and Agateiades. Overheating the beam rifle puts it on a long 17-second cooldown, but only one Act Zaku will make it out alive, and that's me. And unlike the pre-buff Act Zaku, while the wait is long, we now have extra grenades to throw. 5 grenades would take more than 15 seconds to throw, and that's enough time for us to overheat the beam rifle again. We don't have any ranged weapons to use after this, but that's not a problem if your enemy is downed. Good melee smack deals a significant chunk of damage, and by walking backwards faster than his tackle will make it alive with literally everything reloading or overheating. That was the Act Zaku, the mobile suit that gained far more than just the damage of 2 grenades. The Incendiaries give the Act Zaku 1500 more damage each, but they mean a lot more than what's on the specs. Not only do they let the Act Zaku get accumulated staggers by using them in tandem with the hand grenade Z, but by giving the Act Zaku more to fall back on, the Act Zaku can now also unleash the true potential of one of the best beam rifles at its cost. Now it's all on the pilot and whether he has the resolve to put everything on the line. That's it from me today, and the latest.